Welcome to another episode of From the AV to SCV. Today, I was just remembering that last night I had Who Framed Roger Rabbit playing, and great movie. If you haven't seen it, watch it. You know, it's really well made, especially given to the fact that when it was produced, the amount of detail that went to it, as far as like human with cartoon animation combined, they did a really great job. And even you know, in the shadowing of the cartoon character playing with the real world, it did some really great animation. It was really great. Awesome movie. And so, you know, I was just watching that movie, and it kind of started reminding me of cartoons that I'd watch as a kid growing up. You know, you had Sonic the Hedgehog, I'm drawing a blank, but Mighty Max, you know, Tiny Toons, Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain. All these cartoons that were, you know, morning cartoons, and even in Saturday as well. Sonic's Saturday Morning was one of them. Beast Wars. So you had all these cartoons, and now I was looking back as far as the cartoons that I would catch, and it just made me think, what's your favorite cartoon? What do you have to share as far as having a favorite cartoon? You know, what was it that you caught in the morning that you liked? Or, I mean, there was also Dragon Ball Z, so you had stuff in the afternoon. Pokemon was one of them. You had Zoids. I'm not sure if anybody would remember that, but there was a show called Zoids, and it was pretty much mechanical animals being used as for battling to get money and for ranking, and you know, it was actually pretty cool. I caught if I'm not mistaken, it would be the second season, or not season, but I guess you could say series of Zoids, because there's the original first Zoids, and then there was Zoids Chaotic World or Battle, and then there was Zoids, and I can't remember what the third series subtitle was, but essentially it was right after. Yeah, it was supposedly, like, I think it was 100 years after the main, or the second plot, and so they had mechanical Zoids that were having higher advanced AIs, or had more, I guess, freedom and self-consciousness, and they could just make their own decisions and stuff like that. They already did in the first one, but they were more fluid-like movements, I guess is what I was trying to get at. So I remember getting the Zoids, the second installment on VHS, whenever I go to the mall in Santa Monica, the Broadway Mall, before going to the pier or skating from the mall to Venice to skate in a little skate park out there. I'd go to the mall, and there's this movie theater, or not movie theater, but a movie store, and I'd go in there, and eventually the staff would know why I was there, and they'd, you know, give me a heads up, or say, I guess probably the last year before the remodeling, and essentially me kind of stopped going there. It was for DVDs, and so they'd let me know. They'd be like, hey, how about a DVD, you know? And I'm like, yeah, but the VHS, you get these stickers, and you don't risk scratching the disc. And of course, you know, the DVD was kind of like what Blu-ray was about when it first came out. So, you know, the price was up there and all that stuff. So And the folks had a bunch of VHS to begin with, so they didn't want to transition or change and, go through the pain of getting everything again. So I just stuck and got with the VHS, and again, it was just cheaper, and you got a nice sticker out of it, which I still have. So, with that in mind, that was one of my favorite cartoons, Zoids. I really wanted to get those little action figurines too. It was great. You know, you had Liger Zero, Liger Jaeger, and all these other ones. So that was one of the shows that I used to catch all the time after school. The other one, of course, Ed, and Eddie. I love that show, Plank and all that. That was one of the ones that I would catch after school. So yeah, that's one of the questions for you guys. What was your favorite cartoon growing up? I'm sure there's crazy ones that you can talk about, and it's kind of relevant actually what I'm about to talk. There's, as you may or may have not watched, E3 happened Tuesday. There's this game called it's called Cuphead, and I guess it was already an indie game, something to catch already. But I didn't know about it, and I was watching E3, and Cuphead comes out. That game looks like fun. I mean, if you caught, this was for the Xbox One, so backwards compatibility is awesome. Because I do have quite the amount of 360 games, but just disc games, not indie games, is what I would usually always get. The only indie game that I kind of got, I guess you could say, is what is this guy doing? Oh, all right, Limbo. That was one of the indie games that I downloaded, and I really like that game. But yeah, Cuphead was really catchy, very 50s. Well, I guess based on the title for the announcement, it's more of a 30s game, late 30s, close 40s. But yeah, it looked great. So just kind of reminded me of some of the cartoons that I caught, with like Goofy and Mickey Mouse and all that, just semi-old school cartoons. Something that I guess it wouldn't show today because the FCC. But I mean, I grew up watching those kind of cartoons that were violent, but in its own way, it was pretty violent and harsh. But it came out fine, and now I learned that there's no Saturday morning cartoons for, I guess you could say, basic channels on your cable or local channels, what have you. Here in SoCal, you had Channel 5, WB, you had their cartoons, Saturdays and in the weekday mornings, weekdays afternoons, and then Saturday mornings up till like maybe 10 to 11 was the last airing. Of course, Sunday you had nothing, just church channel and stuff. But now it's like they don't want to put cartoons anymore. They just go ahead and put educational program, which is great. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's nice, but at the same time, wouldn't it be nice to have cartoons for kids too? I mean, I'm sure they like to see some cartoons as well, something that just like distract them, or I don't know, maybe that's just me, but they go to school Monday through Friday, and if you're a parent, I'm sure you make sure that your kid is doing their homework, that they're studying, that they're reading what they're supposed to read, perhaps reading ahead, so that way when they're ahead of schedule, and if they have questions, they can double check. You know, you can tell them what's explanation to their what they're confused about or what have you. But to me, weekends was always about just distraction, you know, and these educational programs are great, but I feel like it should be a little bit balanced and have some sort of cartoon. I mean, Animaniacs was, yeah, it was toilet humor, but it was funny for a kid, you know. Wacko doing its burp and its farting, you know, concert. It's just silly, but it's toilet humor. But again, it just made me laugh, you know. And that's what it was all about. So you do the hokey pokey, and that's what it's all about. But yeah, that's my opinion when I found out that they didn't have Saturday cartoons anymore, or morning cartoons for that matter, on Saturdays. I guess you gotta take into account that kids nowadays more than likely have a 360 or Xbox One, PS3, 4, Nintendo Wii U, and that you can stream, you know, on Netflix and Hulu. But on Netflix, I haven't noticed much cartoons, but then again, I haven't gone into it, so that might be the case. But if there was Animaniacs, you know, I'd definitely be watching that. Or Ed, Edd and Eddie. I think they had it on there for a while. I'm guessing their contract had expired, and hence the reason they're not airing it anymore. I'd have to double check. Man, I am exhausted. Lack of sleep makes you tired. Who would have thunk it? Would you have thunk it? That lack of sleep makes you exhausted? But, guess what? We are in Santa Clarita, and what happened here? We are blocked. Bum ba da dum bum bum.